rushing back to my car to get to a different visitor center about 15 minutes away, which is the one all the way in Concord, to attend a ranger-led program about the shot heard around the world and the beginning of the Revolutionary War. I'm going to be probably like 10 minutes late, but it's a half an hour tour, so it'll be fun. I think the lesson here is when I first get to someplace, I need to look at when the programs are, because that's what I enjoy the most, and then base what I do on the timing of the programs. So I've been here for like half an hour. If I had paid attention to the fact that the program began at 11, I could have made it there, come back to the visitor center later. It doesn't matter when I attend the visitor center. So that was a slight mistake, but hopefully I'll learn my lesson. Oops. I'm at the North Bridge Visitor Center, trying to catch up with the 11 o'clock tour. It's probably 11:20 now. I don't know why I'm bothering, but it's beautiful here. I need to take pictures just of the grounds itself. It's just absolutely stunning gardens. Like, oh, there's the bridge. And I bet there's the ranger with one person. So I caught up with the tour. There was one person in a long sleeve flannel shirt and long pants, long jeans. It must be 80 right now. And the ranger stopped and was able to stay later and give me the whole tour. It turned out that guy was her husband, and this was the first day she was giving the tour. And she was very sweet. And her perspective was different monuments here at North Bridge all have different perspective because of the individuals that put them up. And we have to keep that bias in mind when we're reading the monuments. One monument, the obelisk in one location, is actually on top of two regulars, British soldiers' graves, and talks about the enemy and the British doing, very negative things. And then the other stone monument to the side of that talks about how we're friends with the British now and it all worked out well, and we gained our independence, blah blah blah, and very positive story. And that was a later monument, so it's all about the perspective. So this is the end of the action. This is the kind of the end point where the British regulars turned around. So I'm at one far end of the park, not the beginning. I'm at the, basically, how do I say this? So the British came out of Boston. They marched towards Lexington. They had the conflict. Then there were a couple of other skirmishes along the way. And then they eventually marched here at North Bridge. But at this point, this is where the British decided to turn around and go back to Boston. And all along this route, which I think is about 6 miles, not sure, the colonists, the militia, they were continuing to gather. And at the end of the conflict, there were all told 4,000 colonist militiamen who then were firing on the British as they retreated, I think 7 miles, all the way back to Boston. So this is the end point, basically. And this old manse is closed today, so you can't go up and see it. Just people that lived here who witnessed the battle. This is the site of the original houses from the 17th century. They were tiny. I mean, it's like 12 by 12. I doubt if many people come down here. It's gorgeous. But I doubt people want to sit on stone benches. There's a path up here that's very rugged. I'm gonna keep going this way. This is such a cool place. Look at this stone. Preventing some erosion. Uh-oh, poison ivy. Actually, no, I don't think it is. I saw the pointy leaves, got scared. This is so cool. I don't need to own gardens like this or a house like this because I can come here anytime I want. Leads up to the gardens. There's apparently a butterfly club here collecting butterflies. When I'm too much in a hurry to read each sign, I just videotape it and play it back and pause it and read it later. The saddest part for me is leaving a national park or a state park and then trying to figure out where I'm going to park for the night. So I have just pointed to Concord to one of the restaurants that was recommended to me, the Colonial Inn, in order to try to find a spot for the night. And this is kind of their town square, I guess. And I'm right in front of the rectory. I have no idea what the parking situation is here. I need to find some signs and this is on one side of the road, kind of where the road curves. I don't see any signs for the portion of the road that I'm parked on. Still looking. Just talked to the host and hostess at the Colonial Inn. It looks like they have a pretty neat menu. They said that parking here is 3 hours, but it's not enforced. I'm pretty sure I can stay here overnight. There are no overnight signs. You do, in Massachusetts, you are supposed to stop for pedestrians and crosswalks. That doesn't happen normally. In my experience so far, I get on into a crosswalk and they just whiz by me. There's no live music at Colonial Inn tonight, unfortunately, but I'm gonna check into Main Street Cafe. Even though it was thundering, I decided to take the chance. I left everything behind but my wallet and my umbrella. And I walked down the town in Concord. I've never been to the town before. And it's very small, but it's very quaint. It's very high end with a lot of art galleries, architects, things like that. There is a tavern here that you can, the Warren Tavern, that you can tour during kind of regular business hours. I had been there many years ago, probably decades, with my kids when they were young, when we visited the first time and did the Freedom Trail, including Concord and Northbridge and all that. I'm still on the same road, parked in the same place in front of the rectory, and there is a cop who is in a driveway a couple of car lengths away, and I don't know why he's there. So I found all of the restaurants that were recommended to me by a ranger Colonial Inn was the one I asked about live music. They didn't have any. Then I found Sally Ann's sandwich shop. That was closed. It's open just for lunch and breakfast, I think. And then I found the cheese shop, and that's where I got this really good chicken salad with scallions and lemon zest. It's very tasty. But as I don't have a refrigerator, and this would not last overnight, I have to eat the whole thing. It was $8 for this quarter pound. On their sign, they said that it was made with red onions and scallions. So I asked for a taste, and I said, I don't really care for red onions. They're too strong. And they said, oh, it's never made with red onions. That must be a mistake on the sign. And I said, and they thanked me for pointing out the mistake. And I said, well, do I get a prize for pointing out the mistake? And they said, yeah, you can have this cookie. And they gave me a cookie. It's huge too. And it looks homemade. So that's dessert. So earlier when I was sitting here trying to cool off my van with the pending storm and the breeze that was cooling down, and there was a breeze, someone from the rectory that I'm sitting right in front of came out 2 times. I didn't look, had my side door open, never looked into my van. All of the passersby, no one looked into the van except for one guy. He did a double take. Really, people aren't paying attention to you. They're just not. Everyone's within their own thoughts and their own heads and dealing with their own agenda and rushing to get everywhere. It's very rare that anyone even notices. There was one guy, like I said, that noticed, and he said hi, and I said hi back, and that was it. Everyone's taking pictures of Mr. and Mrs. President Lincoln on those benches, but I just realized, and I thought it was cute and artistic, I just realized why they're really there. They're there to prevent people from sleeping on those benches because they cut the benches right in half. I'll get on my soapbox for a minute. All these programs at the national and state parks are now about diversity. They always have something about African Americans involved in the Battle of Lexington and Concord, women and the Revolutionary War. It's all about Indigenous people. It's all about inclusion, right? Unhoused people are people too and should be treated with respect as well. Which, if that means that giving them a place that they can sleep, why not? Where are they supposed to go? That's my soapbox.